Eddie Van Halen wasn't just a rock star, he was a revolution. The man whose guitar playing didn't just break boundaries, it obliterated them, leaving behind a legacy that continues to resonate decades later. From his electrifying riffs to his innovative techniques, Eddie wasn't just a musician, he was a pioneer. But behind the fame and the screaming crowds was a man with a story of brilliance, resilience and battles both won and lost. Eddie's journey started far from the neon lights of fame. Born on January 26, 1955, in Nijmegen, Netherlands, Eddie was the youngest son in a family that knew struggle all too well. His father, Jan, was a professional musician, and his mother, Eugenia, a Dutch-Indonesian woman, brought strength and grace to the family. In 1962, the Van Halen family emigrated to Pasadena, California, with little more than hope and determination. Eddie and his older brother, Alex, were inseparable, bonding over their shared love of music. While Eddie began his musical journey on the piano, his true passion ignited when he picked up a guitar. Inspired by the likes of Eric Clapton and Jimi Hendrix, Eddie didn't just practice, he obsessively studied every note, every chord and every possibility the instrument offered. He wasn't just playing, he was inventing. By the early 1970s, Eddie and Alex had formed a band that would later become Van Halen. Alongside bassist Michael Anthony and charismatic frontman David Lee Roth, they hit the LA club circuit with a sound that was raw, loud, and completely their own. In 1978, the release of their debut album changed everything. Songs like Runnin' with the Devil and Eddie's groundbreaking solo piece Eruption weren't just hits, they were declarations. A new era of rock had begun, and Eddie Van Halen was leading the charge. Van Halen skyrocketed to fame, becoming one of the biggest bands in the world. Albums like 1984, with hits like Jump and Panama, cemented their status as legends. Eddie's guitar work was the heartbeat of the band. His two-handed tapping technique, searing speed, and melodic precision set him apart from everyone else. Fans didn't just listen to Eddie, they were mesmerized by him. But behind the scenes, life wasn't always as perfect as it seemed. Eddie struggled with substance abuse, a battle that haunted him for much of his career. The pressures of fame, creative differences and personal demons often caused tension within the band and his personal life. Yet Eddie kept going. His love for music was his anchor, and his fans were his fuel. In his personal life, Eddie found joy in his family. He married actress Valerie Bertinelli in 1981, and together they had a son, Wolfgang, in 1991. Wolfgang was Eddie's pride and joy, and their bond only grew stronger when Wolfgang joined Van Halen as a bassist in 2006. While Eddie and Valerie's marriage ended in 2007, he found love again with Janie Lisewski, whom he married in 2009. In 2000, Eddie faced his toughest challenge yet, tongue cancer. He underwent extensive treatments, including the partial removal of his tongue. Though he went into remission, the disease left its mark, both physically and emotionally. Years later, he developed throat cancer, but even then, Eddie refused to let it stop him. He continued to perform, record, and inspire, proving that his spirit was as unbreakable as his talent. On October 6, 2020, the world lost Eddie Van Halen. His death at the age of 65 left fans and fellow musicians heartbroken. Tributes poured in from around the globe, celebrating a man whose music had touched millions. For Wolfgang, it wasn't just the loss of a legend, it was the loss of a father, mentor, and best friend. Eddie's legacy isn't defined by his struggles or his untimely death. It's defined by the joy he brought to millions, the barriers he broke, and the inspiration he continues to provide. His iconic Frankenstrat guitar is now a symbol of his relentless creativity, a reminder of how he redefined what it meant to be a guitarist. Even today, young guitarists sit in their bedrooms trying to master the impossibly fast tapping on Eruption or nail the iconic riff from Ain't Talking About Love. Eddie's music lives on, not just in the records he made, but in the hearts of everyone who felt his passion and genius. Eddie Van Halen's story is one of extraordinary talent, human struggles, and an unwavering commitment to his craft. He was more than a rock star. He was a visionary who changed music forever. And though he's no longer with us, his music ensures that Eddie Van Halen will never truly be gone. As Wolfgang once said, "He was my dad, my hero, and my best friend. He's the Mozart of our time." And for the millions who loved him, Eddie will always be the man whose guitar could make the world feel alive.